Welcome,
Welcome,
everyone.
everyone.
I am
I
so
am so
excited
excited
to be a part of this wonderful conversation today between Suzanna Kennedy and Andy Ost.
Ost.
I'm
I'm
really
really
excited
excited
to introduce you to
to
both of
both
them
of them
and to
and to
get
get
your
your
excitement up,
excitement up,
just like
just like
mine
mine
is,
is,
about this
about this
wonderful
wonderful
opportunity
opportunity
to
to
sail
sail
through all
through
the
all the
changes
changes
that we're
that
going
we're
through
going
right
through right
now
now
in
in,
in our
in our
reality
reality
with
with
ease and
ease and
grace.
grace.
So
So
first I want
first I
to
want to
introduce
introduce
Suzanna
Suzanna
Kennedy,
Kennedy,
who is
who
the
is the
creator of
creator of
Melody
Melody
Crafting
Crafting
5.0.
5.0.
She's an
She's an
author,
author,
a
a
speaker,
speaker,
an
an
empowerment
empowerment
leader,
leader,
soul
soul
evolution
evolution
accelerator,
accelerator,
spiritual
spiritual
midwife,
midwife,
and
and
co-creative
co-creative
partner.
partner.
And
And
she's
she's
taught
taught
thousands of
thousands of
people
people
about
about
a
a
way to
way to
release the
release the
patterns
patterns
in your
in your
emotions
emotions
and your
and your
mental
mental
body
body
so that
so
you
that
can
you
live
can
a
live a
happy
happy
life.
life.
Her
Her
reality
reality
crafting
crafting
technology
technology
initiates a
initiates a
ripple
ripple
effect that
effect that
upgrades your
upgrades your
self-image,
self-image,
your
your
ability to
ability to
see
see
through
through
illusion,
illusion,
and
and
master your
master your
thoughts
thoughts
and
and
emotions.
emotions.
And with
And
us
with us
today
today
is
is
Andy
Andy
Ost,
Ost,
Susanna's
Susanna's
co-host
co-host
for the
for the
Ascension
Ascension
Dialogue.
Dialogue.
She
She
first met
first met
Andy in
Andy in
2019
2019
when he
when
flew
he
from
flew from
Germany to
Germany to
Hawaii for
Hawaii
a
for a
private
private
retreat with
retreat
her
with
in
her in
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Andy is
Andy
well
is well
known
known
worldwide
worldwide
for
for
his
his
comedy
comedy
and his
and his
incredible
incredible
musical
musical
talent.
talent.
And
And
so with
so with
that,
that,
I'm
I'm
going
going
to
to
just be
just
here
be
as
here
a
as a
support
support
to
to
help this
help this
conversation
conversation
and
and to
field
field
questions.
questions.
Please,
Please,
for all
for
of
all
you,
of you,
know that I can
I
see
can
your
see your
comments,
comments,
and I'll
and
be
I'll be
glad to
glad to
share
share
them
them
as we
as
go.
we go.
So welcome
welcome
everyone,
everyone,
and
and
thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Someone
Someone
saying,
saying,
attention,
attention,
we
we
can't
can't
hear.
hear.
Disturbing echo.
Echo.
Okay, well,
Okay.
let's just take it away and you can turn off yours. Okay. Do you still hear the echo now? Okay. So, so I want to start out by talking about what we meant by unleashing the genius in your DNA. So we are beings of love and light, and there's just a tiny stream of our love light that animates this body in this world. And humans for this planet were originally created as fifth dimensional beings, as the earth was also a fifth dimensional being, and with 12-strand DNA. And over time, many stories about how that we kind of were genetically engineered to be less than that and only have the 2 strands. So what we're talking about in ascending to 5D and unleashing the genius in your DNA is that when we clear away the 3rd dimensional programming, then we open up. And as we release the 3rd dimensional programming, it automatically, when you release that, when you release the subconscious programs that are limiting in the mental body, and you release the emotions that are that were created because of your programming, creating these painful situations in your life that you then felt emotionally hurt and painful, that haven't been released from your system yet. So when you clear that out, those are low, slow vibrations. And so just by doing that alone, it raises your frequency. And the more you raise your frequency, the more of your DNA, the other 12 strands or the other 10 strands start to turn on. And those 10 strands, scientists call it junk DNA, but now we know it's not junk. This is the abilities of a fifth dimensional human, and also the opportunity to even evolve beyond the fifth dimension. So the genius in your DNA is the ability to tap into universal intelligence, divine intelligence, and infinite intelligence. And what I see, and I don't know if any scientist would ever back me up on this, but this is my internal knowing, is that when we came into this body, you know, it's an organic game suit to play in this reality. And this organic game suit has artificial intelligence we call the mind. And I call our mind artificial intelligence because it has to learn. It has to learn. And it's learning in those first 7 years, creating your self-image, which we call the ego. But the divine intelligence is just, you know what you know in the moment that you need to know it. It's just there. It's not learned. So that's what we want to talk about today, is how to unlock the genius in your DNA by clearing the past programming. So, Andy, would you tell the audience here about your transformational story? Like, what was going on in your life at the time that you started looking and you found me, and what were you looking for? And then, you know, what did you find?
Of course, I'd love to. And I'm speaking a bit slower because I hope we somehow get rid of the echo issue. We tried our best technically to solve it, but it seems like I still fight some echo. So first of all, thank you everybody for showing up. Thank you for being here. It's a really thank you for the invitation, Suzanna. And I was a long range airline pilot until 2011, where more or less overnight I had to leave this job due to medical issues. And what happened then? What maybe called the dark night of the soul. I really no longer knew who I was. The story I was telling myself I was no longer true. And so somehow the soul took over in a journey to really look after who I really was. And I was more or less by a coincidence walking into the comedy and entertainment in Germany, and that gained some traction and a lot of success. So now I'm off totally, I guess. Do you still hear me?
Yes.
Chantal was referring that maybe you have to put up the microphone while I'm on, and maybe we can get rid of the echo. Can we try? Hey everybody, are you hearing me now? Is it better? Can you just give me a thumb up or a thumb down whether you hear me now better? Oh, that's amazing. I'm so happy. Thank you, Chantal, with this life hack you just gave. So maybe we're now up and running. So as said, I lost my job and as a pilot, and then came to the entertainment industry, and I gained some traction and some success. And but during all this time, I was not really feeling soul fulfilled. No matter what happened in my life, I knew I had some toxic things going on, and I was just longing for not chasing some goals and no longer making plans and trying to go somewhere, reach something, sell tickets, sell albums or whatever. I was just longing for being present and being, fulfilled and happy in that moment. And I don't know how it happened, but there was this night I was sleepless and I was like Googling for retreats and for a place to go and to find some time to really calm down and really I don't know. I've been so many weekends for workshops and coaches and all kinds of stuff, and that helped for some short time, but not long distance, because it looked like everything came back to me after some time. And then I met Suzanna, and it's interesting. It's the day today 4 years ago we started this journey together, and I was visiting her for a retreat, and yeah, we've been through the emotional mental detox, and this finally, I would say, was a tool that brought me home. It was not over promising and under delivering. It was quite the opposite, because it covered all the bases, and it took care of all the aspects, and it took care of lasting and deep transformation processes, because it focused on the heart. It just focused on who I was and no longer who I wanted to get rid of. And so and the longer we've been working together, the more, I guess, the trust came into the process. And yeah, we will discuss this journey today. We will go with all the insights and how it works, why it works, and what we've achieved. It's been tremendous changes, because from that moment on, I no longer was looking on the outside what people would expect from me, what they would want from me, what they want me to tell, what they want me to sing, how they want me to behave. It was more, I was starting to find out where I want to go in my life, what I have as a goal, what I have as a dream, and what I would want to chase with my heart. And that was a total liberation for me. And it's a process that's still going on, with healing as a foundation and growing from there on. So I hope we can make transparent a lot of the stuff we want to talk about. And you see me being quite enthusiastic about it, because it had so many wonderful effects on my life, and it's great to share it. So Suzanna, thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation. And if you want to, I will pass on the ball, because we've a lot of people here tonight, and maybe they would also want to know, how was your journey? How did you come up with all these ideas, with all these tools, and how you found out that they were so effective? And yeah, I would love to embark on this journey with you again, because I've heard a lot of it. But yeah, I'm very curious, and I'm very happy to share. And again, thank you, all of you that took the time for being with us today, being curious, and I hope we'll have some fun within the next hour. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'll pass on to Suzanna, and I silence.
So yeah, actually, Andy instigated this call. He said, this, this program has helped him so much that he wanted other people to know about it, and what could we do? So we thought having this conversation would be helpful. So as far as how did I come upon it? Well, out of necessity, really. And this is back in 1997. One morning I woke up with this energy running up my body. It woke me up. It was really intense. It was fiery. It was electric. My body was undulating in a strange way, and it was kind of scary. And I just put out the call, oh my God, what's happening to me? And a voice answered in my head. It was very clear, very loving, and said, you are giving birth to yourself, just breathe. So I had 2 children. So I did the birthing breath, the Lamaze breath, and that helped me to move with it and stop resisting it. And so it started, it was like an hour and a half. And when it finally calmed down, I felt like a completely different person. I could feel this vastness of being that I mentioned before, this divine love and light that now is like, oh, that's who I really am. And yet I could see, and it looked like a computer program to me, who I thought I was. It looked like a computer program. So, and maybe because I was teaching about computers at the time, I was a trainer. And anyway, that's how it showed up to me in my vision. And I knew that if I didn't clear out that programming, that was my sense of self. It was a false sense of self that was built as a program, and that I needed to clear that out in order to actually be who I really am and do what I came here to do, because it also came in with a very strong sense of mission. I'm here for a purpose. On a mission from God. I must find out what it is and start doing it. So the voice stayed with me as a guide. It was so helpful. My personality changed, my values changed, everything changed in a really good way for me. And I had then abilities that I hadn't had before, but I was looking to, get rid of that programming. And I was guided to a workshop to a man who had a way to get rid of the programming. And so I took that workshop, and then he also had some other sessions. So he had 5 sessions. He had identified already what are the 5 core issues that all people have in common, because we grew up in this programming and in this world, and the world has programmed us. Okay, so I did that, and it was very, very effective, and it opened me up even more to be able to bring in higher frequency and intelligence and wisdom and guidance, and so I trained as a practitioner with his method. But when then I started to practice, that voice started to suggest changes. And ultimately what it said was, there's going to come a time when so many people need this and want this that you're not going to be able to do it the way you're doing it, which was one person at a time. It was very cathartic. It was, bringing up stuff, and they would remember, they would have flashbacks, they would cry, they would be angry, and they would say, we need you to make a more graceful way to do this, so that people could either do it on their own, or you could do it with a big group of people all at once. So it guided me to create what is now the Emotional Mental Detox. And I added another layer of it, which is lack and limitation programming, which to me is at the core of everything. Lack is separation. And that is all of our core wounds, separation, because when we came into these bodies, after being this divine light and love, and we forgot that we were divine light and love, mostly mentally we forgot it, but there was a part of us that still remembered and felt shut off from it, felt abandoned by it. And so that feeling of abandonment is core, and that's separation, and lack is being separated from what you want. So that's the last session which is now the Emotional Mental Detox. That is 6 sessions. So I started doing that. I had moved to Sedona, and I was practicing that. And people were asking me, how does this work? Why does this work? And I didn't know how it worked or why it worked. I just knew it worked. I was doing it and it was working, and I was getting all these referrals. I mean, a whole healing practice just organically grew up in Sedona around me because of referrals. And then I discovered Bruce Lipton and his book, The Biology of Belief. And he used the metaphor of the subconscious as a program, and the way that he explained it. And it was like, oh, okay, now I have a way to explain it. And I started using his explanations to explain it. And then I went, actually by this time, 2011, I was invited to speak at a conference where he was the keynote speaker. And so I went up to him and asked him how, what can we do that you would, look at my program and feel comfortable enough to recommend it to people. And so he took it was in a CD kit at the time. He took it to his heart. He closed his eyes. He felt into it, and he said, call my secretary and have her put you on my, recommended practitioners list. And that was in 2011. And since that time, so many people have come to me through him, and maybe a lot of people even on this call. And and then recently, just July 1st to 4th, I was with him again in Mount Shasta, and we had another conversation, and we're going to be doing a Zoom meeting together in November. So I'll let you know about that when we get closer. So, and if you are a fan of the esteemed Bruce Lipton, you've already heard that in those first 7 years, that is when the subconscious is downloading all your experiences to create your self-identity. And then when you're about 7, because that's the part of the brain for a child that's most active at that time is the right hemisphere. So it's you're all in the now. Everything is now. There's not really a sense of time, and you're just taking in everything. And then when your left side of the brain becomes active, like around 7, then all of that has been downloaded gets stored or gets kind of put into the subconscious. And then you are able to understand time, understand cause and effect, make decisions. But what's in that subconscious is projecting your reality out. And you are reacting, or you're engaged with the reality that subconscious is creating. So, these beliefs, your thoughts, your patterns create your reality. Whatever you think, whatever you say. And in the third dimension, there's usually been a time lag between, what you think and what you create and when it shows up. But now that we're moving into the higher frequencies, the time lag is disappearing. And in the fifth dimension, there's no time lag. It's all instant manifestation. So that's another reason why you want to clear all the third dimensional stuff, because you don't want to manifest it. Manifest your fears, manifest your anger, manifest, whatever you're worried about. So, and as a matter of fact, if your vibration isn't high enough, it isn't matching the fifth dimensional reality, you won't be there. So fifth dimensional paradise Earth starts in your consciousness first. And then when you are in that vibration all the time, or most of the time, you start to create from that perspective, and you then are in your own paradise reality. So, Andy, if you would come back, I would like to know what you struggled with, and how the EM detox or even my coaching helped you through those struggles.
Okay, yeah, of course, I'd love to share. First of all, to be very honest, of course, it's the fear, and it was most probably the ego that said, oh, when we start this journey, who will we be after that? What will be the outcome? And it tended to really stay with what was now, even though that was limiting and hurting at that time. So that was something that really, was a huge barrier for me to overcome. But the good thing is, and that is what you always say, your program is not about manipulation, it's about grace and ease, and so that you can work with it within your own timing. And so the meditation helps you to prepare, and the starting was the triple flame activation, and that even helped me to calm down and give more room to the heart, because there was always something inside of me that said it's inevitable to go on this journey. It just has to be. But it was kind of back and forth a lot, and a lot of inner conversations. And so that helped me from day one with, as said, with all the bases. I mean, it's the male aspects, what we've downloaded, what we've learned, how we should be as guys on in this world, like the patriarchy and all the old belief systems, and then the female aspects and how to implement intuition and more trust. And then, as you said, the luck, the pain. So you have a journey where you cover over time all the bases. And what's really fascinating is, as you said, when there are changes on the inside, the outside will follow. And a lot of I don't know, a lot of new friendships came, a lot of new opportunities in the way we work. We played amazing shows, really soul fulfilling ways of doing what we love. And for me, the biggest fear in my life was like the fear, especially when you expose your art to somebody, is the fear of being rejected or even bullied for what you've created. That someone says, "Oh, that's crap. No one will use that. No one will like that." And these hurts and kind of dive right to the core where they originally come from, and how they can be eased and even relieved out of the system, so that you get more courage on showing your gifts. And then as you said, Suzanna, it's deprogramming the DNA, and as I would say, it's not a change, but it's also a huge remembering that there's always a part inside that is always awake and loving and unhurtable, untouchable, and to get in contact with this part in oneself, that can be a very, very healing process. And the emotional mental detox is a very unique way to help you go this way and dive deeper every time you work on that. Wouldn't miss it for the world. So I hope that answered some questions you had.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to address what Andy said about the fear of even going into something like that. And that is really common. And it's part of the programming. So when we, in those first 7 years, created that self-identity, it's a program, and it has an antivirus part of it. So the virus is change. The virus that it thinks, what it thinks is a virus, the threat, is change outside of what it has created. Okay, so when it sees that threat, it goes into defense mode, and it throws up, and the ego speaks through your mind, thoughts, excuses, reasons why it won't work. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't know. But really, it's the one that Andy said, I don't know who I'm going to be after this. And that is so scary to the ego. And it will even create scenarios to stop you. And so knowing that, what you need to break through I know, I wanted to say something about the ego creates a comfort zone. We've all heard about the comfort zone, but it's not your soul's comfort zone. It's not your heart's comfort zone. It's the ego's program. It's the ego's comfort zone. And the ego is through the mind. It's mental. And the mind doesn't have any feeling. It can't feel the pain that you're experiencing from these events that it's created. It can't feel it. It doesn't care. It can't feel the longing of your soul to express itself. So, understanding that, the next step you have to take then, if you really want to be your true self and do what you came here to do, is to have courage. Now, courage comes from the French word coeur, which means heart. So it's having the strength to follow your heart and your soul in the face of this ego defense, and taking that step, an action step outside of your comfort zone. The only way that you're going to have a shift is you've got to take that action outside of your comfort zone, which would be, to find something and decide that this is going to work for you. And when you make that decision and you put that stick in the ground, then the mind has a different job. It has to figure out how it's going to support you in doing that. So, and as a matter of fact, one of the things I'm going to add to my program is a session up front that will help to clear the resistance that the ego has to positive change. So, as a matter of fact, well, I don't know, I think we'll take a moment to
I have a question as well.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, what came into my mind when you said initial boundaries and the fear of the ego? How do you arrange, because that is something maybe the mind would also trigger as fear, or how do you accomplish during the detox and the training that the energy that gets into the system and the higher frequencies won't be overwhelming? So how do you make sure that everything happens in maybe a divine timing, if you will, or in a way that the whole system can cope and get along with it, so that it's not overwhelming?
So in my session, everything I do in emotional mental detox and reality crafting, it always, at the end, when we anchor the new frequencies in, we give the command that there will be a graceful integration. And we've already, in the beginning of anything I do, I always have you bring in your higher self, your I am presence. So your I am presence is you as you first individuated as a consciousness from source. So you were part of source. There's no individualized consciousness. It's all one. And then you, as a divine spark, emerge. And that's the first thing you say when you emerge is, I am, because you weren't and now you are. And that is the most powerful creator. It's the highest frequency of you. It's the most love. It's the most light. It's the most wisdom. It's the most intelligence and the most creatively powerful. And it is the part of you that when you access that, and then you set an intention to create something, it has to be obeyed. So we start with that, and then we make the change, and then we anchor in the change with a command to make it a graceful integration. And it's your I am presence that's going to guide how quickly, how that will unfold. So it's a graceful, you don't get overwhelmed. So change will start to happen. It's change that you've asked for, and it happens at a pace that is graceful and easy for you. Okay, so what other questions? Are there any other questions that you would like to ask about this from the audience here? You can put that in the chat. Okay, we're not getting any questions.
Question at the moment. I would ask another one.
Okay, great.
Might be interesting. So I need you to silence the mic for the, okay, perfect. We were talking about grace and ease so far, and what I was also wondering in the beginnings and throughout the process, and that might be a valuable information. I hope you always say you may surrender into peace with the mind, and this is maybe something that leads that you can expect the best, because in the beginning I was kind of how would you say, I was kind of thinking, okay, maybe when I do this program I can get what I want, and getting what I want was what I wanted here. I wanted that to stay the same, but my problems to appear. So that was the trick I played on myself. And but trusting and being open to the change, and that it will be for the better, that might also be something that gives more and more trust, because as said at the moment, in the beginning, the mind will come up with all sorts of reasons why it's not the right timing, and it's not, there are so many things to do at the moment that are important. And then this could come up as well, that it's not a program where you misuse it to get what you think your ego wants, but it will lead you to your heart, and then so you will create not only for your own good, but for the best of all. Is that would you say that's true?
Well, that's what you've experienced, and that's what many people over the years. I mean, I've been doing this for over 20 years now, so this program has helped a lot of people. And yes, another thing that I always include in the sessions is right in the beginning, we tell the mind to stand back and be the silent observer. Because I know I've heard from a lot of people when they do guided meditations, and that's how I present these in a guided meditation style. The mind is always, criticizing what's going on and trying to interject and, cast doubt. So that's one of the first commands. I want the mind to step aside, be quiet, watch, and remember. Because when we anchor this, it's going to be your job to help manifest this and to allow it to happen. So, and let's see, we have some other questions coming in. All right, so does this happen in stages? Yes, so we have 6 sessions, and the way that you can do them is once a week for 6 weeks, and that's the way I have it set up on the website. So you need time in between to integrate the changes, and that makes it more graceful as if you give it time. And during that week where you're integrating it, you're starting to notice things coming up from your subconscious into your conscious mind. So and you can repeat the recordings again if you feel like you need to. So in that week, so at the end of 6 weeks, if you do it, you're going to, what I hear from people is I feel like a completely different person and, in a very good way, and feeling more empowered and more authentic and more able to speak your truth with compassion and respect and integrity, and create healthy boundaries for yourself. So those are just some of the things. And somebody, which program is reality craft? Okay. So the best one for deprogramming the subconscious, I created the Emotional Mental Detox, but I'm going to give you a surprise today. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about what is a reality crafting session. So reality crafting 5.0, that's my kind of new tagline for my work. It's multi-dimensional. So in one way, reality crafting 5.0 is like a whole support system for you to create your personal paradise, which is always going to start with the deprogramming. That you're not going to get anywhere without that, because we can't go into the fifth dimension with the 3D stuff already attached. So reality crafting on the other level is a session that I do where it's a private session, or sometimes I do these in really small groups, where we laser focus on one aspect of your life that you would like to upgrade. So while the emotional mental detox is clearing out the old, the reality crafting is creating the new. And so you decide which aspect of your life you would like to upgrade, and we focus just on that, and we create the upgrade, the outcome that you want, and then I help you to clear any resistance in your consciousness or in your energy field that would get in the way of that manifesting. And actually, one of the things that we do in everything, again, is transmutation. So we take the old energy, whether it's beliefs or patterns, programs, or emotional density, we clear that out and put it into a sphere, an energetic, alchemical container. And once it's all in there, then I bring in infinite love, which makes everything inside of the sphere vibrate faster until it's all vibrating at infinite love. And infinite love creates a 0-point energy field, which means there's no form. It's just raw creative energy. So you discreate the old, and then that is ready. It's raw creative energy then to create the new. So what was resistance is transmuted into creative energy to then fuel your intention. So that's what I would do in a reality crafting session. Hope I answers that question. Do we have another? I'm an inspirational author and enjoy all the inspiration I receive about children's books, courses. I'd like to find my paradise place to live and be wealthier. Could your work help me? Yes. In my opinion, this helps everybody. Not everybody is ready for it, but when you get ready for it, it's going to take away the limitations that have come from your first 7 years. And when you're free of all your limitations, then you're going to be your best self, and you're going to be even more inspired. And you're going to have a frequency that radiates and attracts those who are ready and willing and able to benefit from the gifts that you want to bring through and express in the world. Regarding I am, what are your thoughts? Saying, hi, my name is I am, whatever addiction is. Okay. This is a good question. Thank you. Yes, I am they are powerful creation words. And so whatever you say after them can manifest. And so, this question mentioned, doing the 12-step programs and how, I am an alcoholic or whatever. I would suggest not saying that. I would suggest saying I am a recovered alcoholic, even if you're not yet, because when you say that, you are, and I would even put it more like I am free from all addictions. I am healthy. I am, when you want to create something intentionally, you put it in the words that I am that now. I am healthy. I am free. I am happy, and check yourself, because we use a lot of I am statements throughout the day to to establish things that we really don't want to be. So it's smart to start listening to your words and to your self-talk. Yeah. I am self-love. I am love, Helena. I am love. I am love. I am the love and light that I am. I am all that I am. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. How long, Andy, did it take you to incorporate, or Angie? I'm not sure who Angie is. Not sure if you're talking to me or Andy.
I guess Rachel corrected it. Andy, she said it's another post. So
okay.
I guess
okay. All right, then you answer it. Go ahead.
Okay. So okay, Susanna's muted. Okay. Rachel, what happened during the process is that I labeled a lot of things in my life as problems, and it didn't feel that way anymore. I mean, it's not that once the program is over, it's just everything is just happening all at once and perfect. It's more you get interesting challenges. You get opportunities where you are challenged to grow. You get ways to, I always dreamed of mastering this. Now I should overcome fear again. And you start off more chasing the challenges, and you do no longer label them as problems, because inside you get that feeling that life is giving you these things on purpose, because life has discovered your longing for growing and healing. So the foundation, as Suzanna said, was 6 weeks with one meditation session every week, dealing with male aspect, female aspect, guilt, lack, pain. And after the bases were covered, you have a foundation of really looking at life in a different way. But I'm happy that I'm still getting challenged, and sometimes it's I have to remember, because life is full of distractions, and life still tries sometimes to are you sure you're on your way? And then it's resyncing with the process. And sometimes I take out the meditations, do them again, and remember what I came here to do. And this is a process, and I hope it will last for my whole life, and I hope it will be long life. So I'm happy that the foundation helped to build upon that and to look at life in a different way. Rachel, I hope that answered your question well, and in case there's anything else you want to ask, just let me know in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it does create a foundation, and it gives you the tools to master. So it's I can see it as like an initiation. So you have initiation, practice, and mastery. So the initiation into a new way of being is in the 6 weeks. But then there's going to be practice, and the fear is going to come up anytime you get close to the edges of your comfort zone. But what happens in the 6 weeks is your comfort zone expands exponentially. So, but when you practice and you master that new level of being, then new opportunities show up. And when you get to the edge of that, you're going to feel some fear. Actually, fear and excitement and is the same in the physical body. So you might label it as fear, but it could be excitement. So you're always going to, and it's just a signal to you that a new opportunity, a new expansion is available to you. So you kind of reframe it from fear to, as Andy said, a new opportunity. Okay, I would like to present my surprise today. Okay, so, and this is all so brand new for me. So I have been receiving guidance now from the 8th dimension. My 8th dimensional self is wanting to express through me some of the higher energies, and has inspired me to upgrade the Emotional Mental Detox program. So I am presenting the new, improved, evolved, and we're going to call it Sacred Union Reprogramming. And so the word Sacred Union is for your body coming into union with your divine self or your higher self. And so in addition to clearing out the old, we're going to reprogram to accept the new, to accept the higher self, to accept and express more of who you are. And because this is so new, I'm going to be doing it live. I found that, like when I created the Emotional Mental Detox, I had started off on somebody else's work, and it evolved while I was live with my clients. And so in that same way, when I have a group with me live, the group energy forms an energy field, the group field, and I will be then channeling through what is the best version of deprogramming and reprogramming for the group that's assembled there. So I don't know, Kathy, if you could get up the page, the pretty page that I made for this. So it's the ultimate liberation. And then if you could scroll down, Kathy, introducing Sacred Union Reprogramming. So we're going to illuminate the limitations encoded in your DNA. We're going to detox self-sabotaging programs from your system and realign with your blueprint for Sacred Union. And let's scroll down to, we're going to give you a link to all of this. So let's scroll down to what's included. Okay, so it's going to be, and we're going to do this in 8 weeks instead of 6. It's going to be live, and it'll be about a 90-minute group call. And so it's 8 sessions because we're going to have a session in the beginning that helps you to clear, to get your ego out of the way and get your ego out of the way so that there's no resistance. So align the ego with being able to allow you this transformational change. So I want a week to set things up, to get you prepared, and then the 6 reprogramming sessions, and then the last one to integrate what we've done and talk about next steps. So I'm going to create a private community on my website. Nobody else will be there except the participants. And you'll be able to ask me questions in between. So the live will also have coaching. So we'll do coaching and integration coaching throughout in those 90 minutes. But in the meantime, we'll have this private community where you can connect with each other, ask me questions in between our weekly meetings, and get really supported on a daily basis. Everything will be recorded and available for replay shortly after the live is finished. And then I'll also be including some of my other guided meditations that will be a support for you. And then there's going to be a downloadable journal, so something that you can print out and keep track of the process and the progress that you're making. Okay, and then let's move down to the course description. Okay, so week 1 is preparing for programming. Week 2 is clearing suppressed masculine wounds. 3 is suppressed feminine wounding. And 4 is, move up a little bit, transmuting suppressed fear and anxiety. And then going back up to look at number 6 is releasing toxic guilt, blame, shame, judgment, and then suppressed grief, loss. And 7 is liberate yourself from separation and lack. And then 8 is integration and next steps. So then moving down, we are going to be starting this September 17th, which is a Sunday, and we're going to be at the same time that we started today. There is a, there is a video there, what others are saying. And so, Kathy, do you think we should play that or just let them look at it on the page? What do we have time for?
Oh, it won't play well with the sound difficulties.
Okay, so then get the page back. Rachel's asking, do you have to know the stories behind the wounding? No, you don't. It's in your subconscious. That is the beauty, is that we figured out what do all humans have in common from growing up here on this planet. Okay. And it's very comprehensive. I mean, it goes many layers deep to those topics that those 6 topics. Within each of them, it goes very deep. I'm very systematic when I approach this. This comes from my experience as a corporate consultant designing training programs and performance improvement. I've always been about creating transformation in the most graceful way possible. So we already know, and it doesn't matter the story. I'm glad you asked that question. The story doesn't matter, because at the core level, it's all frequencies, beliefs, thoughts, patterns, programs, all frequency. Everything has its own specific frequency. And when you go to the core and release the dense, slower frequencies, it doesn't matter what the story is. So we all have the same core issues, but we all have dramatized them differently. But the drama doesn't matter, because we're going to the core. Okay, so this is a live course. It's 8 weeks. We have 2 payment options. One is $500 2 times, and the other is $998 one time. And with that one, if you pay in one payment, there's an extra bonus, and that is going to be one of my reality crafting sessions for the group. So we will get together one more time, and whoever is in that call will have the opportunity to bring to the group one aspect of their life that they would like to upgrade. And that's where we create the new. Now, in these reality crafting sessions, in a group style, it's very, very powerful because the group synergy magnifies, because when it's your turn, everyone is focusing their creative energy on yours. And then you do the same for others. But also, if somebody else wants to manifest something in their life and you hear that and you go, oh, I would like that too, then you can also benefit from theirs. So you get many upgrades in one of these group sessions. So I would really encourage you, if you can, to make the one payment option and get that extra reality crafting session. So, all right. Yeah. So what do you think about the new program, Andy? I know this is a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally excited, and it's interesting because I've been through a course with you, having live sessions as a group, discussing things, and you always encounter that what someone has as showing up in their life somehow affects you as well on a deep level. So the healing covers way more, because sometimes you bring an aspect and somebody else brings an aspect, and all of a sudden you get 2 at once, when it would just have been one-on-one, it would just have been the one that you made up consciously. So it's a lot of benefit going on. I love the group sessions and I really enjoy it. And yeah, it's great that you came up with offering this in in that way. I was very excited seeing this, somehow created new, since I know the program, the EM detox program, and this looks like an upgrade.
Or when I created it, it was with 5th dimensional consciousness, 5th dimensional frequencies. Now it's going to be 8th dimensional. So I'm really looking forward to it. And this is like my favorite thing to do in the world. It's when I'm, so tapped in and alive and creative. It's like the highest creation is reality crafting, and that's what we're going to be doing together. Is every week we're going to craft a new reality. So you come to the session with one reality, you leave with another that's going to gracefully integrate over the next week, and then we do the next one. So I'm very excited. So, any discounts? I am going to be giving discounts to people who have already done the emotional mental detox. So people who have already done that, just to congratulate you on being a graduate. If you'd like to join us again for these highest frequencies. And so those people will be getting an email that gives them a coupon code if they would like to do it. And I'm also going to be donating part of the proceeds to Maui. Since I am living on Kauai, another Hawaiian island, I know everybody's heart goes out there. And I have somebody who is he's actually a funeral director, and he is, offering his services for free. He's doing all kinds of grief counseling for the people who've lost loved ones. And so we're going to be supporting that. Okay. M. Blanche still wants a discount if she signs up today. He or she, whoever that is. I know that they usually do that. The value that this is, discounting it, I don't want to discount the energy of it. So that's my answer. If you discount the price, you discount the energy and the power, and I don't want to do that. So you can decide. I've got the 2 payment option as well. Okay, any other questions? Yes, because they've already gotten a whole lot from the Emotional Mental Detox. All right. Kathy, you want to put the link in there again, please? Any other questions? And, anyone who registered with me on my site, you will be getting the replay, and you will be getting an email with the replay and the link to this page as well. So we're starting September 17th. And I hope to see a lot of you there. And yeah, very excited for this. Okay, anything else? In what way is it different from reality crafting? Well, in this new program, it's going to be a combination of detoxing and reprogramming. So deprogramming and reprogramming. And every time you do that in a session, I'm going to use my reality crafting technique to do that. So it's going to change your reality. The difference is from a private reality crafting session, in this reprogramming, the focus is on reprogramming. In a live private session, we're focusing on one point in your life, one aspect of your life, to change that. So it's laser focused on a particular part of your life. And and that's what we'll be doing. If you do the 1 payment, we'll be doing that at the end. So I hope that clears it up. Anything else? Okay, well, I am so grateful that you all showed up. Thank you, Andy, for lighting the flame under me. And thank you, Kathy, for helping out with all the technology and for hosting us. And I hope to see you all on September 17th. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It was an honor. All the best.